And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go visit our good friends at Hail Mary's. They're located on Harrison Avenue in Cheviot. They're in the Dora District, so you can walk from bar to bar with your drinks. But why would you do that? We can just hang out at Hail Mary's. They've got 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall. There's not a bad seat in the house. They subscribe to every sports package that DirecTV offers. They can stream all the games, and Cincinnati sports will always be on the video wall. The walk-in cooler is brand new. The draft lines are brand new. And not only do they pour the coldest Cincy Light around, but they do so in 32.8-degree frosted glasses. They have more than Cincy Light, but if you're there, you might as well just have Cincy Light.
When in Rome.
All right, Aaron. Yeah. When in the presence of John Cunningham, when in the presence of John Cunningham, everybody drinks Cincy Light.
When in Cheviot.
When in Cheviot, Cincy Light it is. All right. Well, it was a good Sunday. How about you? I know you were driving probably all day today.
I hate today. I'll just leave it there.
I went to see my nephew plays football and wrestles. Those things usually happen on Saturdays in the fall and winter. I'm not openly available really on Saturdays in the fall and winter, but they had a match today. Went and saw my nephew. He finished second in his division. So congrats to Cody, the little guy.
Good job, kid.
But yeah, that was my Sunday. It was pretty laid back, and then had some dinner, and here we are. You drove with kids.
Yeah.
With a baby and a toddler.
I needed
hours and hours and hours.
I needed some decompression time, and apparently so did everybody else.
The Bearcats won.
They did.
I mean,
hooray!
Hooray! It's been a fun day on the interwebs, messing with Xavier fans. I've done it. Katrina Merriweather's done it. It's been just a grand time. The women win the crosstown shootout. The managers on Friday also won the crosstown shootout. So it was a crosstown shootout sweep. Managers, men, women, everybody beat Xavier. You asked for a better weekend. And then Cincinnati won the Bengals won one of the stupidest games in the history of football.
I didn't even have the pleasure of watching that one, so
I didn't either. I was following it on my phone from the wrestling event, but 10 turnovers in one game. That's hard to do. That's hard to do. All right, let's get to the weekend that was mostly in the Big 12, and then we'll have a little Big 12 talk after this because conference is kind of fascinating right now.
It is that.
I'll get to it. First off, Thursday, Iowa State did not play particularly well, but they still hung 89 at Iowa. They win 89-80. I'm at this point pretty convinced going into the league, I think they're the best team.
Lipsy still has not had a game. He only had 11 points. What's going on with that dude? He had more minutes than anybody on his team, and still
I wonder
11 points.
I wonder if some of it is they have a bunch of weapons around him. So they haven't
have to be.
They haven't needed him to be like that dude. So maybe he's just kind of settled into that role, but honestly, I mean, when you're looking at their roster and when you're watching them, Curtis Jones and Keyshawn Gilbert are just fantastic, like night in and night out. I know Gilbert didn't have a great game against Iowa, but I mean, Curtis Jones had 23. Deshaun Jackson is good for them. Josh Jefferson is good for them. He had 19. Milan Momchilovic is good. They're just so strong.
They were losing at half though by 7, and what do good teams
they were
do?
Losing.
Good teams figure it out. They reassess at halftime and figure it out, and they end up winning this game by 9. So that's a 16-point sweep.
they didn't play well early in that
Swing.
second half either. Swing, yeah.
Swing.
They didn't sweep is on our minds. It's fine.
Yes.
Didn't play well early in that second half either, but then they score 52 points in the second half to get that win. They're just impressive. They played tonight too and put a beat down on Omaha. So I think going in, they're probably the best team in this league. On to Saturday, a little bit of a rivalry Saturday in the league, out of conference wise. Florida takes care of Arizona State 83-66. Florida is they're playing well.
They're good.
They're playing well. Arizona State has had a better than expected start to the season, but they were not going to get that one at the holiday hoops giving.
A better holiday hoops giving for some than others.
Which should have happened 2 weeks ago, but it is what it is. Kansas 75-60 over NC State. Maybe the most consistent game we'll see all season, Aaron. It was 38-30 at halftime, and then Kansas won the second half 37-30. So 38-30 and then 37-30. Just the model of consistency for the Jayhawks. Hunter Dickinson 21, 14, and 7. And Kansas is, I think pretty solidly number 2 in the league behind Iowa State. In Lawrence, not a shock there, but
no,
they played well. They
sure.
played well.
They did what you expect them to do.
Right. Oklahoma State did not play well. Oklahoma moves to 10-0 with an 80-65 victory in Bedlam. That Oklahoma State team, we'll get to it, but looks to be maybe the bottom shelf in the Big 12 again this year.
When your 2 top scorers are coming off of your bench, it's a weird game.
I was afraid we were going to have that yesterday for a little bit, but
well,
what can you do? It didn't end up that way.
That was also a weird game.
Speaking of, Cincinnati 68-65 over X. You were out, so if you got anything you want to add before tomorrow night to make Brent mad, go right ahead.
No, I'll hold it off until tomorrow night for Brent. It was definitely good they won. Definitely.
Arizona continues their brutal start to the season. Mick and the Fighting Bruins 57-54 in a Mick Cronin classic. Neither team gets to 60. It's like a pebble fight. I don't even think it was a rock fight. It's like a pebble fight. But Arizona 4-5, Aaron.
I thought they were going to win this one. I really did think they were going to win this one, especially with it coming down to the wire like that. Again, desperate for a win, but it was all for naught.
Yeah. UCF takes care of Tulsa. Tulsa is bad, so good for the Knights of Gold.
Yeah.
West Virginia over Bethune-Cookman, Utah over Radford, and BYU comfortably over Wyoming. Today, like I said, it was just Iowa State over Omaha. Tomorrow, nothing out of the ordinary.
No.
Tuesday, nothing out of the ordinary. There's really not a whole lot going on this week. Some bye games, some filler as we head towards Friday. Looking at the rankings, looking at Ken Palm, I think we're only going to see 3, maybe 4 Big 12 teams in the rankings tomorrow.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I would imagine Iowa State,
Kansas,
Houston, and Cincinnati.
Yeah. Baylor, not there. Arizona has fallen off a cliff. When you look at Ken Palm's interesting. Ken Palm still has Houston at number 1. They have Houston 11th in offense and 3rd in defense. So the metrics still even though it's been a little bumpy, the metrics still love Houston.
Houston's record has them not anywhere
6-3.
near there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're projected 15-5 in the conference. The only team with a better projected record in the league is Iowa State. And they are 5th in KenPom. Houston 4th, Iowa State 5th. They're projected 16-4. Kansas is 10th. Baylor at 7-3, surprisingly, is 14th. That's on the strength of being 5th in offense, but they are 84th in defense for Baylor. And if you've watched them, it's been evident. Like, their offense is crisp. Their defense is not.
They're
not
also
crisp.
0-2 on the road, so you got to figure that out.
Then Cincinnati comes in behind Baylor. They are 23rd. Texas Tech 25th. Arizona 31st. And then kind of get into that next group. Nobody is outside the top 100. Oklahoma State is the last team in the league at 92nd in KenPom. So,
and that's a whole new team. So they're still figuring it out.
The reality is this is not the best league in America this year. The SEC has kind of dominated that conversation.
Got them right where we want them.
But I mean, that's okay. Like, right now, the SEC's got 1, 2, 7, 8, 11, and 19 in the top 20. And then Mississippi at 24th, Mississippi State at 30th. And then basically 37, 38, 39, and 40 are Oklahoma, Texas, Georgia, Arkansas. But you know, you're not going to be the absolute best every year. I still think the Big 12 is running a very consistent second. But it's you know, it's interesting because it feels like the middle is going to be a little bit tougher than we thought. And a lot of that is just because the top isn't, we were talking 5 top 10, top 15 teams. And now that's not the case. So those two, especially Baylor and Arizona, drop into that middle of the pack, which makes the middle of the pack more difficult.
Yeah.
But you don't have it doesn't feel like you're fighting as many teams. Like it felt like finishing 5th in the league was going to be a monumental task at the beginning of the season. Now it feels like you could maybe jump into the top 4, top 3 if, you know, Houston doesn't at some point figure out how to replace Jamal Shedd.
Yeah, that's clearly left a gaping hole in their entire team, not just offense. I think that affects the team literally from top to bottom. That's a giant presence to have to replace.
But the thing is that it's not like they played poorly. They played pretty well, but they don't have a closer. They don't have, like, that was Jamal Shedd, right? Here's the ball, go to work. Final 5 minutes, like, the ball is in Jamal Shedd's hands, no matter how good the talent was around him. Now they're trying to figure out what that looks like, and it's taking a little bit of time, but you know there's still going to be, during conference play,
Houston's going to be Houston.
Out. Yeah.
Houston's going to be Houston. It's fine.
Right.
Look, I think Cincinnati has as good a chance as any, though, this year to beat Houston. And that would be...
Hasn't felt like the case for a while.
To me, it's not as big a win as beating Xavier, obviously, but that would be a monumental hurdle to have jumped.
Yeah, it'll be a signal that, you know, Cincinnati has kind of turned the corner. You're not, although the metrics would say you're still beating one of the top teams in the country by beating
KenPom. You said the best.
In the conference,
in the conference, right?
The eye test says take Iowa State right now, but again, if Houston figures out, you know, a way to close games a little bit better now that they're, 10, 12, 14, as they get going moving forward, they'll certainly be right there with Iowa State if they get that part of it figured out.
Yeah. Well, time will tell.
Time will tell. All right. Aaron isn't in a talkative mood tonight. He's ready to go sit out in the cold for 3 hours.
I have spent enough time with family this weekend, and I am all talked out. I am not even. I don't have any.
That does make it difficult to do this.
There are no feelings left to feel. I am.
Well, go get some rest. I know that won't happen.
Oosa.
Get some rest, and we'll see you tomorrow night on the BBP. That's going to wrap it up. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time. That is the Nightcap, live from the Cincy Light Studios, brought to you by Hail Marys, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.